Howdy, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be doing an election prediction. There has been a lot of talk of John Ossoff from the state of Georgia, Democratic senator from this state, as well as, well, of course, J.D. Vance is running for the Republicans. He's always going to be that guy with the advantage. Vice president from Ohio, of course. And there's been a lot of speculation that Ossoff is going to run for president in 2028. And I could see it, I think that there's a very, very good chance. The only thing is, he might not run if the Republicans win the Georgia governor's race this year, which they might. They have a better chance this year because the Democrats don't really have any star recruits. And the Republicans have members of the Kemp administration that have remained popular. So the Republicans kind of have the upper hand in that governor's race. But for the time being, this is just a what if, as all of these are. What if Ossoff ran against Vance in 2028? So, of course, we have our safe states to cover first and foremost. Oregon will get back into the safe column. I also think Illinois will go back into the safe column, as well as New York and all of these. Not New Hampshire. I got to be careful not to scroll over that. New Jersey, I think, is a harder sell, but I think I am going to give it to Ossoff. He is a good campaigner. And Delaware, of course, as well. New Jersey, after the gubernatorial race last year, like 3 months ago now, as crazy as that's been, should actually know, it's more like 4 months. I don't know if I can't do math. Maybe I can't. I think maybe it's, I don't know, it is currently 3:16 a.m., bear with me, but that's where we're at, I think, and Colorado is going to finally join the bunch as a safe Democratic state. This has been trending left for about 2 decades, or it will be 2 decades as of, honestly, it's been longer. It's been trending for longer than 2 decades. It's going to be like 28 years. It's been trending left. So Colorado, to probably nobody's surprise, is going to be in the safe blue column. It is going to get over 15. It's going to happen, I'm confident. So, Republicans, of course, J.D. Vance will have his own set of safe states, states that will go to him by more than 15, no matter what. I'm going to leave Mississippi there. But, yeah, okay, we're gonna go with that. But yeah, Vance is at a significant disadvantage, but he will be making all of that up. Spoiler alert, he will. So Vance 106, Ossoff 191. But once we get into these likely states, Vance does definitely ramp it right back up. South Carolina, I think, will be under 15. It's going to shift a few points toward Ossoff, probably a good few points toward Ossoff, because Ossoff being from neighboring Georgia, I think that he will have like a decent advantage in the region. I think not amongst the South Carolina GOP base, of course, but among independents and black voters in South Carolina, I think would turn out in higher numbers. And that would benefit Ossoff, but not to the point where this is going to get under 10. Yeah, not a shot in hell. So, South Carolina, likely red. Florida is also going to join the bunch. This state has been trending right, and, I mean, it went to Trump by 13 points in 2024 when it went to Trump by 3 points in 2020. It was like a 10-point shift. So, this I could definitely see staying red. And staying very red. I think this will probably be like a 10-point victory for Vance. A lot of these states are going to shift considerably toward the Democrats, but Florida is not going to be one of those states. I think it'll be like an 11, 12-point victory. It's not going to move too much. That's just where Florida is. And Kansas, of course, will be joining, as will Nebraska's first. These are uh, electoral votes. I don't want to say states, and I also don't want to say districts because it's one of each. But even still, Nebraska's first, going to go to Vance by probably under 15, like give or take 10 to 12, because this first district, I believe, took in some parts of the second that was bluer, and that's why it was the only electoral vote to shift left in 2024, because of redistricting. So that would explain that, and I think that that will continue. So yeah, Nebraska's first, going to go probably by about 10 to 12, that's my guess, and it will be the same in Kansas. There's going to be a significant amount of drying up here in terms of Vance's support, but Kansas is going to be still solidly Republican by about 10-ish. That's where I'm going to leave it. I do think that it will see some serious shifts. It's going to be one of those states that's probably on the table in 20 years, but not so much now. So there's that. Also, in the likely red column, I'm going to put Alaska here, and I'm thinking this is going to be a little closer. This is going to be, in my opinion, probably like 6 to 8, and that's how I'm thinking about it for Alaska going to Vance. It's going to narrow up a ton, and we also really could see what's going on with the gubernatorial race and the Senate race that are both happening this year. So we will see how those look. The Senate race has a star candidate in Mary Peltola, but the governor's race has like an above average, but not like S tier candidate in Tom Begich. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. If Begich like wins, and Peltola also probably wins if that's happening, then this could be more in play. But for the time being, I'm gonna give this to Vance by 6 to 8, and I think it's going to be probably a similar story in Iowa. Again, in that 6 to 8 point range. Vance being from the Midwest, I think he is going to have like a little bit of a leg up here, but not like a lot. And that's going to count for a lot. Yeah. I think that's where I call it. I think Maine second is going to join that 6 to 8 point bunch, but yeah. I'm iffy on Ohio. I think I am going to call it at like 5.1 for Vance, if that makes sense. It is his home state. He did underperform Trump in his Senate race here, but ultimately, he's not going to lose his home state. I think he will do fine enough there. So now it's time for the Democrats' likely states. Those include states like New Mexico. I expect Ossoff to win by 10. Virginia. Could he get it by 15? Maybe. I'm not so sure. But I definitely think that Virginia is going to be one of those that's like 12 to 14 points for the Dems. And Minnesota is going to be there, so is Omaha and New Hampshire, as well as Maine at large. So not really much to say here. This is kind of... These are all the Harris states, after all, and I definitely do see Minnesota shifting multiple points back to, toward the left. Same with New Hampshire. These two were closer in 24, but won't be in 28. So that's how I see it. And now we're down to the last 133 electoral votes. The reason why I haven't characterized Texas yet, and this, I'm going to say it right now. I said Ohio was going to be 5.1. I think Texas is going to be 4.9 for Vance. And the reason why I say that, James Tallarico and John Ossoff have a lot of similarities. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been very invested in this Senate race in my home state. If Tallarico wins the Senate race, I could see somebody like Ossoff, who is very similar to Tallarico in a lot of regards. I do think that Texas would be in play, but Vance would still hold on by like just under 5. I think it would get into leans, but it's not like Blexus is not happening in 2028. So that's where we're at. But now we're back down to the 7 swings, and these are all okay. This is going to be like a lightning hot take, maybe, but I'm going to go Georgia in likely. This is another one, 5.1, I'm going to call it. This is a rapidly left-trending state. This is Ossoff's home state, and I think he's got it. I think if anybody is going to win Georgia by more than 5 on the presidential level, it is going to be Ossoff. He's just got that unique appeal to the state, and I definitely think that Ossoff could get this over 5. That's how I see it happening. And North Carolina, I think, will finally flip as well. Ossoff's sort of shtick as a, well, Southern Democrat, right? Positively speaking, in terms of that. But I think that's going to help him in North Carolina. I think that's going to help him win over some more moderate and independent voters. That's also the story in Texas, but that will get sort of balanced out by, the usual GOP coalition that the state has that will hold strong for Vance, despite his unpopularity at this point in time. But Georgia and North Carolina, I see both of these going blue. Out west, I think Ossoff gets Nevada, probably by like a point to 2 points. It's just like Ossoff and Vance. There's not really a candidate in this scenario that has like broad appeal with Hispanic voters, because that's not really a super major voting block in Georgia, nor is it a super major voting block in Ohio. And I think I will give Arizona to Ossoff, probably by under a point. And the reasoning for that is that just Hispanic and Latino voter reversion is going to be like nuts. In fact, I think I'm going to give it to Ossoff by a point. So, yeah, Arizona is back on the table. I think that for sure we are going to see this one narrow up a little more. But Arizona, I do think, is going to go blue just solely based off of trends. It's not because either of these candidates has a particularly good rep with Latino voters right now, but in these two states where those two voting blocks do matter a lot, I think that is going to be how this goes. I think Nevada by 2, Arizona by 1. And that leaves the Rust Belt. So this is Vance's region, and this, I think he's going to perform relatively well. I mean, granted, Ossoff's already over 270 with Arizona, but I think that Wisconsin is going to go blue. I think that Michigan is going to go blue. And Pennsylvania, just based off of like the trends with the voters, Pennsylvania is going to be one of those states that is just always close no matter what. And it did go to Trump by the most out of these three. And I think that I am going to give it to Ossoff by like 0.9. So this does give us the fabled 319 to 219 map. With Georgia being the strongest swing state in Ossoff's favor and Pennsylvania being the weakest. I will say Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, these two probably are in like the 2 to 3 point range. These two seem to be a little more left-leaning than Pennsylvania recently, but I do think that Pennsylvania will flip back. We'll see probably like a 2-point shift. Like 2.5 point shift rather, which will make the state blue by just under a point. So that's how I'm seeing it. That's what I'm feeling for the 2028 race between Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff and Vice President and former Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance. So of course the environment of 28 is going to be much, much bluer, especially after what we're probably going to see this November. But overall, Ossoff makes a lot of headwinds here. The Wisconsin and North Carolina Senate races are probably both flipping. So in the event that Dems, actually, Ohio is also going to be up for election for the Senate. So even if what's most likely going to happen is like a 51-49 Senate map for the Dems here. That's how I see it happening. Brown's seat probably flips back. It really depends on if he can really outrun like that, but we'll have to see. Time will tell. But yeah, this is going to wrap up this prediction. So if y'all enjoyed it, definitely be sure to leave a comment. If y'all want to also comment like other like other candidates, like I do Vance a lot, and I do like a bunch of different Democrats, but maybe y'all want to see Marco Rubio of Florida. It's like, I think Ossoff Rubio could be a very interesting matchup as well, given that Rubio does have significant appeal with Latino voters, but we will have to see in due time. So for now, that's going to wrap up, and I'll see y'all later.